Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona, and each week I come to you providing a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's edition. Super excited to have you all here. As a quick note, so we did receive notification that Facebook, after a date in June, they are going to no longer be hosting videos, the live videos, longer than 30 days. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing between now and that date is slowly migrating all of the live videos, so all of the old videos, onto our YouTube page. So I will post the YouTube page in the comments after we're done today, and I'll put it in the main post as well. I'll edit it and add it to there as well. So that way you all have the link to that. So when you, after June, and you're looking for some older video content, it'll be on our YouTube page. Just don't judge the content too much on some of the older videos. I'm re-watching some of these so that way I can jot down all of the topics. And whoo, I can tell that I was not as comfortable in front of the camera back in 2018. So I just rewatched one from 2018. So I've been doing these weekly for a really long time, guys. And the whole intention of me starting this is so that way all of you could get the one chapter education unit on the power of one. So here's a big reminder. I say it every week to go log the chapter education unit. So maybe you guys just aren't watching till the end of the video. So I'm going to mention it right here in the beginning to make sure that when you watch these videos, go into the BNI Connect app and log the chapter education unit. Super important to get credit for watching these quick videos. It's the whole reason why I create these videos for you guys. So if you're not logging it, it's missing the mark. It's missing the mark. Even though I love providing education nuggets for you guys every single week, but I want to make sure that you're getting credit for watching these videos every single week. So make sure to go into your BNI Connect app and log the chapter education unit. Now, one of the quick things, guys, that a couple members had questions on is how these slips are viewed in the BNI Connect app. So when you log a chapter education unit on the home screen, it's going to tell you how many slips you submitted, not how many chapter education units. So, for example, if you go into that slip and you submit and you scroll up to select 2 for the one of the chapter education units. So let's say you did 2 Wisdom Wednesdays, then you're going to scroll up and select 2. When you click submit, so the slip itself will show 2 chapter education units. However, when you go to the home screen, it's going to show 1 slip because you only submitted 1 slip. It's not the total of chapter education units in that little box where you can do like the quick ads for the different slips. So I wanted to make sure everyone was clear because I've heard a lot of members say that because it only showed 1, they went in and then re-entered it for every single chapter education. They did them separately. You don't need to do that. You can just do 1 slip with the multiple chapter educations. It will show up in the Palms numbers under the right number. It's just in that home screen section, it's going to show you how many slips you submitted, not total of chapter education units. So I hope that clears things up a little bit. But today's topic is actually all around referrals. And so this has been a really big topic around multiple chapters that I visited because there can be some confusion around inside referrals and outside referrals. Now on the Palms report, if you look at the details, so I know that vice presidents, they give you the whole overview of how many referrals are passed. They don't break it down on inside versus outside, but when you look at the Palms report, and every member, you guys, you all have access to view the Palms report. If you go into BNI Connect, it's not in the app, it's in the online version, but if you go into BNI Connect and you go under chapter reports, there's going to be little icons in the home screen in BNI Connect off to the left-hand side One of those is reports. If you go to chapter reports, there will be a summary PALMS report. You can view that report to see the breakdown of the number of referrals, and you'll notice that there is inside and outside referrals. Now, the difference between inside and outside referrals, it is not inside and outside of the chapter. I'm going to repeat that. The meaning behind inside and outside referrals does not mean inside and outside of the chapter. It does not mean that. What it means is inside referrals is when a member personally uses another member's services. So if I personally use another member's service, that's an inside referral because I am personally using someone's services. Now, if I refer my neighbor to a member, that is an outside referral. Regardless if they're in my chapter or in another chapter, if I'm personally using someone's services in my chapter or another chapter, it's an inside referral. If I'm referring my neighbor to any member in BNI, it's an outside referral because I'm referring someone other than myself. Now, if you are thinking, oh crap, I've been logging it wrong the whole time. No worries. You do not need to go back and change anything that you've already submitted. I would just encourage you to, moving forward, submit it the right way, because when you go to view that summary PALMS report, the goal in BNI is to get outside referrals. Now, as you build relationships with members in the chapter, inside referrals are going to happen organically between members. But the goal is to get more outside referrals. If you notice that you have way more inside referrals than outside referrals, then what that tells me is that there could be an opportunity to educate your sales team more about your business so that way it's easily to refer you to other people. Because with the weekly meetings, right guys, we have the weekly presentations, and this is another little education nugget for you guys. We used to call weekly presentations weekly commercials. But when you think of a commercial, you think of like a sales pitch, right? So you don't want to sell to your fellow members. You want to sell through your fellow members. So this is why in BNI we've changed the verbiage from commercial to weekly presentations. So we've got weekly presentations, which are about 20 to 60 seconds long, depending on how big your chapter is. And then we have feature presentations. So they're both presentations. We're not selling to anyone in the room, guys. The whole goal with those weekly presentations is to educate your team. Education is so key. What can we learn about your business today that when we walk out of the room, we're going to have more knowledge in our back pocket to be able to refer you better? That's the goal behind the weekly presentations. You want to prepare those weekly presentations so that way your sales team is learning every single week a little nugget of information about your business that they didn't know the day before. Whether it's information about a specific product or service, or a value add that you have for your business, or a testimonial from one of your clients of how you help them through the situation. You want to be as specific as possible. If you're too broad in your ask, members will not be able to have the best time referring you because you're not super specific. Sometimes we think if we're too specific that members aren't going to be able to refer that specific person that we're looking for. But I guarantee you guys, you will receive more referrals the more specific you are. So make sure that you plan out your weekly presentations throughout the year to be as specific as possible with the intention of education. If you're going in with the intention of selling to everyone, you're missing the mark. You don't have to sell to anyone in BNI. So, and I've talked about this in previous Wisdom Wednesdays, in one-to-ones, not one-on-ones, one-to-ones. One-to-ones, don't sell to your fellow members. It's the biggest turnoff to hard sell a member during a one-to-one. go in with the intention in your one-to-ones with education and learning. Listen for opportunities to be able to refer each other more business as far as introducing them to new connections, or maybe you have a potential referral right away. So education, education, education. And the more we educate each other, the more we'll be able to focus on those outside referrals. So the goal in BNI, if you're looking at your summary PALMS report, the goal would be to have a lot more outside referrals. Because what that means is you're doing such an amazing job educating your team of who to look for that they're sending you business that's not themselves. That means that they feel comfortable referring other people that they know to you. They say on average each person knows about 250 contacts. And so if you think about it, the goal is to get 2, 3, 4, 5 plus layers deep in the relationships in BNI, so that way you're getting a ton of different levels of outside referrals. Because if you notice in the thank you for closed business slip, there's different tiers, right? Tier 1, thank you for closed business, is when you receive business from a member themselves. So that is the inside referral, right? Inside referral is tier 1, thank you for closed business. And outside referral is tier 2, thank you for closed business. Now a tier 3, thank you for closed business, is when that referral refers someone new. So that is the best kind. I think the slip says tier 3 plus. When I was representing my business, I had like 5, 6, 7 layers deep in the tiers because people just kept referring down the line. Now you want to make sure to definitely log all of the closed business that's a result from a BNI referral. That is the best way to say thank you to someone when you're submitting that thank you for closed business for a referral. Now there's 2 ways to submit thank you for closed business for a referral. You can either do an update. So if you update the status on your referral to got the business, then it'll automatically pop up a thank you for closed business slip for you to submit the information. Now let's say it's a repeat business and it's not a new referral because it's a repeat business. Then you can just go into your quick ads for thank you for closed business slip and be able to log that ongoing or repeat thank you for closed business. So you want to make sure that you're logging it every single time. If you're someone that does a monthly service, you can select to either report that thank you for closed business every single month, or if you have like monthly contracts, you can estimate of what that thank you for closed business would be for the full year of that contract and then submit that all at once so that way you're not having to submit it every single month. So there's lots of ways to report the thank you for closed business. Now, thank you for closed business is kept confidential, guys. I've been getting that question a lot too through email, is asking if I can view what someone submitted as thank you for closed business. And I cannot. With all my access in BNI Connect, I cannot see what you received from BNI. It is 100% confidential. I cannot see that information, guys. So one of the things that you'll want to keep a note of and create a routine of is following up on your referrals to ensure that the members are submitting their thank you for closed business. When it comes to all of the PALMS report numbers, the thank you for closed business is the only one that we as members don't have control of when it comes to the numbers that are showing up under our name. So we have control under the attendance, we have control under submitting our own referrals, we have control over one-to-ones, we have control over chapter education units, visitors are logged through the chapter, we have control of inviting visitors, right? But thank you for closed business is submitted by somebody else because all of those numbers on the PALMS report isn't what a member received from BNI, it's what they gave to someone else. And the only way that number will show up is if that other member submitted the information. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I've never submitted thank you for closed business, or what's the point of submitting thank you for closed business? I've heard that there's some members out there that just they're busy, they don't log it. But here's the thing, guys, if you're not logging it, it's not affecting you, it's affecting somebody else. And so when that member is going through their 7-month review and the membership committee is looking how much business they've passed to other members, and if they represent a key position and that number is really low, that could affect their membership. So please, please, please make sure that you are logging that thank you for closed business, because again, it doesn't affect you, it affects somebody else. So the best way to say thank you for a referral is just submit the thank you for closed business. And if a member is consistently reminding you to submit the thank you for closed business, one of the best things that I did was I time blocked on my calendar to submit all my activity for the week. That way you are taking out the time to specifically log all your information. Will you remember 100% of the time? No, and that's okay. But we want to make sure that we're logging as much as possible. All of the thank you for closed business numbers, and having members pass over $131 million for BNI Arizona last year, I think that number is even low because not everyone's logging their information. So hashtag log it, guys. Log all of your activity. And if you're like, I don't care about logging activity because I see you guys in the gray, I know you're doing activity, you're just not logging it. You can't fool me, guys. At least log your thank you for closed business. That is my biggest ask for you today, because it's not affecting you, it's affecting somebody else. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'm happy to help. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's Wisdom Wednesday, and go log that chapter education unit. Again, I'll post the link for our YouTube page because that's where I will be uploading all of our older Wisdom Wednesday videos, since they will no longer be on this page after June. And so I will slowly be migrating them over to the YouTube page. That way you can catch any of the old material and topics through our YouTube page. And for those members who are not on Facebook, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to tap into some of the Wisdom Wednesday material, because I did hear someone say just the other week that they've never seen a Wisdom Wednesday. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity to have more members be able to access the information for that easy chapter education unit. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you all, and I will see you next week.